Now let's turn our attention to South Africa's steel industry. It's a bellwether for manufacturing and a sector that I don't need to tell you is under real pressure. Now, in a new National Employers Association note, Gerard Papenfuss warns that the decline we're seeing in steel is a microcosm of broader economic damage. Just by way of background, manufacturing contributes roughly 13% to South Africa's GDP, yet recent figures from the Metal and Engineering Industry Bargaining Council shows the sector has shed something like 1,300 employees in 5 years, an estimated 110,000 jobs. That is a staggering 23% fall in employment. It's not just a data point. It's families, firms, towns losing their economic base. So let's get into this story a little more deeply. I'm in conversation now with the Chief Executive of NISA, Gerard Papenfuss. Gerard, in plain language, how serious is the steel sector decline? And you're calling it a microcosm of wider economic damage. What does that mean?
It's we see economic decline in all sectors, Jeremy. It's happening all over. I think it is more severe in the steel industry because of certain factors which we can discuss. But the general ills of South Africa, that's caused by industrial policy and general policies, is there's a decline, and it stems first of all from a lack of business confidence. But the steel industry has very specific things that is plaguing the industry, and government is not able to deal with this. They do not play the role of a honest broker. They have their hands in the industry. I think they have interests in the industry. They want to promote certain industries above other interests. So, they cannot be trusted with the industry, and that's their job, to create a playing field that is fair to everybody. Now, we need to understand it's complex to create a fair playing field because everybody, will perceive their particular circumstances and certain issues as a bit unfair. But so you won't get never get a situation that pleases everybody. But what they do is obviously wrong, and the arrangement in the industry, and especially with regard to the collective bargaining dispensation and the issue surrounding import duties. Wages, of course, a huge issue. But so wages and import duties it's a massive thing in the industry. And we're talking about what's happened in the last 5 years. But, I mean, this is coming from, this is the last 25 years that this has happened. And we're talking about an industry that at a particular point employed 700,000 people. Steel has grown by 4% a year. We'd have by now employed 1 million people in the industry. We're standing at 300,000 roughly.
Yeah, Gerard, you paint a very desperate and worrying picture. Realistically, do you think we've left it too late? Do you believe the sector can still be saved?
Well, and if government doesn't bring about changes, and I mean, they can do it through legislation, but the trade unions play too important role. Let's just talk about collective bargaining. The whole system is just wrong. It is the steel industry. If you want to employ a worker with no experience, no education, and the lowest level, the cost to employ that person, cost to company, in other words, salaries plus the on cost. Your leave, your sick leave, all the levies, all the duties and levies that you need to pay, everything. That person will cost you over 16,000 Rand a month. A person with no experience. That's the entry-level wage. Now, so if you don't want to pay it, you need to get an exemption. And in order to get an exemption, you need to prove that your business is in serious financial trouble. No, that's too late. I mean, if a company that's in serious financial trouble do not employ. So here is a thing that can be solved. I mean, we are a developing economy. This is wages that you get in developed economies. But it can be solved.
Right.
through the change in legislation. But the ANC is definitely not going to do that because they will not have the support to do that. They can't afford it. So that's out.
So, Gerard, let me ask you this question then. When an organization such as yours makes overtures to government about the concerns that you've outlined to me, what kind of response are you getting? Are you being heard?
Well, we've been talking about this for, it sounds exaggerated if I say decades. But no, there's no plan. They cannot change it. So this is unfortunate. I mean, the steel industry is now very big in the news with the situation surrounding AMSA. But I don't think there's a plan. If they have a plan, they've developed a so-called steel master plan a year or two ago. They've realized now that's dead. You cannot interfere with market powers, and sometimes you need to interfere. But when you then interfere, you need to do it with huge wisdom and with respect. If you have people in charge that do not understand market powers. And people then introduce mechanisms to force the industry in a particular direction. The market economy, money is like a deer. You scare it, it runs away. And this is what's happening here. Some people are forced to close, others just go to lower gears in the economy. They've lost confidence in the industry, and the fact that it still exists and that there's still something of an industry is actually a miracle.
Is there, and just a quick answer please, is there any immediate relief then that would keep viable employers alive over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, the fact is, in 12 months from now, there will still be employers that's alive. Industry like that just don't die. It's a slow death. So in 12 months' time, unless something happens, something is done, the industry will exist. There will still be a lot of employees that exist, but it will be less than what we have now.
Thank you very much indeed. I've been in conversation there with Gerard Papenfuss, Chief Executive Officer of the National Employers Association of South Africa. Gerard, thank you very much.
Our business is powered by